Hope you had a great week last week and are looking forward to our learning this week. We just have a couple things that we're going to do. We're going to talk about the standards, resources, activities that you can use with planning lessons around the speaking and listening standards for oral communication, and also use the resources to think about activities moving forward. So in our learning today, we are going to review these standards. Remember the integrated model of literacy from last week. Numbers 1, 2, and 3 go well with 1, 2, and 3 in reading and writing. Standards 4, 5, and 6 have more options. They cover all 4 domains. So as you are developing lessons this week, really think about how you can integrate these other standards from the other literacy domains. Although this class is oral communication, we really want to think about being effective teachers in the area of literacy. So really consider how we can integrate those speaking and listening standards throughout other lessons that we are already doing. So adding something to a lesson you've already created, or having a specific speaking and listening activity and integrate some reading and writing along with would be perfectly suitable. Think about that Iowa Corps website resources that you looked at last week. This has some great information on it. I uploaded all your one-pagers into a folder on the week 1 resources on the Moodle. So please open that up and check out those. You might get some good ideas from your classmates there. And then remember that there are others that we could use also. We can also think about using the speaking and listening information in Appendix A of Iowa Corps. So if you go to page 26 in Appendix A, which you can find on the Iowa Corps website, there are a couple pages that talk about speaking and listening, oral language, written language, and the development, listening comprehension, and reading comprehension, how those go together. So this is an excellent read that I would encourage you to look at beforehand, just 2 pages in there. That would be beneficial for you. So those are some good resources that you can use. And then this language and literacy theory and practice site is also linked on the Moodle. And it has really great information. It talks about the importance of communication skills, what they are, how to approaches to teaching them, a task-based approach or a communicative approach. So think about that as you're developing lessons. This is about the current issues in the classroom, so some difficulties that you might have. We'll revisit that later on in the course. But if you go down here, it has teaching ideas, a bulleted list, and then Think Literacy has developed a cross-curricular approach. This is another great resource to get ideas. Now, it says grades 7 through 12, so it was developed specifically for secondary. However, if you are an elementary teacher, you know you've used Think, Pair, Share before. You have used the Jigsaw before. Of course, Retell we use a ton in K2. Discussion etiquette is nice to teach kids, as well as Four Corners. I use that a lot in my upper elementary and junior high classrooms. So these are all great resources that you can adapt at the elementary level as well. So just because it says grades 7 through 12 doesn't mean we can't use that at the elementary level too. So some great resources there for you to use and think about. When we talk about the lesson plan, these are the 10 basic components. Many of you have taken a class from me before. It is the exact same lesson plan, different standards. Obviously, we're focusing on speaking and listening, but that integrated model is a focus as well. Number 7 here is where you are going to have most of your information. Anybody off the street should be able to pull up this lesson plan and deliver it. So in 7 is where you're going to have the activities that you're going to do, the steps you're going to follow, the cues you're going to give, the resources that you are supposed to use. So really be explicit so that anyone can pick this lesson plan up and use it. The resources and materials, all the links should be there. So if you have a specific assessment, it should be linked on your lesson plan or added to the bottom. If you have a specific book or video that you're using, make sure that you put that in here and where we can find it. Access engagement for all really is how are you going to ensure all students are engaged cognitively in what you're doing. And then differentiation and accommodations is thinking about your special needs students as well as your TAG students or your ELL students. So how are you going to make sure that those students can access the instruction as well? So these are the big components of the lesson plan. it looks like this. Many students just type in here their information, which works out great. Then at the very bottom, there are 5 questions that you need to reflect upon as well. So this one with the 21st century skills, there are 21st century skills standards in the Iowa Core. So if you don't know what those are, please look those up and see how you can integrate those in your lesson as well. If you think about it, we are 17 years into the 21st century. So we really need to make sure that we are targeting those skills every chance we get as well. So you're really thinking integration, those have to be part of it too. And then reflect academic rigor, really think how kids are using their brains. How are they metacognitively thinking? Cognitively engaging students is the third one, I guess. So academic rigor is, are we sure that it's at the level we need it to be? If it's for 3rd grade, are we sure the text is the complexity we want? Is it higher order thinking? Those sorts of things. Collaborative learning, this is a great place to put our speaking and listening skills, so that'll be an easy one to answer for this class. And then what did you learn when you were creating that unit or lesson? What were you thinking that you didn't think before? Reflect on those sorts of things as well. So that also has to be part of your lesson planning. After you do your lessons, then we have another assignment that is around development. So we have 2 resources. The first one is Young Children's Oral Language Development, and the next one is a connection of brains. So one is a link and one is a resource. So the oral language one is the development. Young Children's Oral Language Development is right here. There's the components. You will see these in both resources. How do we nurture language development? So this is a rather short one. And then we have a longer version in the form of a book. So this is one chapter out of the book called Born to Talk. So I don't have a textbook for this class. I provide you with those. So this is one chapter from this book that I thought was very important that we wanted to focus on. So the preface is here. Please read through that if you'd like. But where it says chapter 1, the connection of brains, here's the learning objectives. I cut them down a little bit. And then quite a bit of reading here, but really important for you to read through those things. And then the questions at the end, I took out 1 or 2, I believe. So the actual questions that you will be responding to as part of your assignment are listed on the Moodle. So here's the review questions, but I don't believe I put all of those in there. So that is something that we will be learning this week too, is around the language and speech and how those are related. So that's going to be big learning this coming week. Okay. Of course it stops on me. All right, so our assignments. We will have a forum on listening skills. This one is an assessment of your listening skills. It's, I think, 14 questions that you self-assess, and it gives you a score and then things to think about around how you can improve your listening skills. So I want you to take it and then tell us your score and a plan that you have to improve your listening skills. My score and plan is on there as well. The next forum is going to be your lesson plan. So this is where you'll upload your rough draft. You'll put that in there by Thursday the 6th, and then give feedback to 2 students by Saturday night the 8th. So Saturday night would be, midnight, Saturday night, or Sunday morning, however you look at that. So upload by Thursday the 6th, and then give feedback to 2 other people, but make sure you don't give feedback the second time until at least all students have uploaded and have had at least 1 piece of feedback. This is where you're going to get the most powerful information to make your lessons better. It's always great for me as an instructor to see what educators have to say and give feedback for each other and support of each other. So it's really a great learning experience there. So that's a forum as well as an assignment, because you have to create the lesson plan. So we'll have 2 forums this week, one a little shorter than the other. And then the lesson plan is one of your lessons, or one of your assignments, excuse me. And then our third bullet here is the assignment around communication, language, and speech. So those are those last two resources I just showed you, reading that chapter of the book and answering those questions. That's your other big assignment this week. So there's a hunk of reading and then responding thoughtfully to those questions in writing would be the next big assignment. And then you also have the final lesson plan. So after you get feedback from your classmates, as well as myself, I'll have feedback done on those by Sunday night, the 9th. Then you'll have a few days to get the revisions in for the 12th. So that's our assignments for this week. One lesson plan and one review or question answer for those resources that we have in there. And then the listening forum is another activity that you have to do this week. So again, if you have any questions, always email me or text me. I'm available anytime to help you with those questions, and I look forward to learning with you this week.